Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Recognition and Respect with me, Shneaky. Today we have a very special guest here. A new homie, longtime friend for sure. Building up relationships, doing dope shit. We will talk about lots of that. EpTheDreamer here. Say what's up to the peeps.
What up, y'all? I'm EpTheDreamer. Happy to be on this show with you, man.
Yeah, well, we've been doing a lot of cool shit. What's up, Face? Face is in the chat.
Oh, shit. What up, dude?
Where you at right now, Face?
Hiya.
Are you working? He's like, hiya, Shneaky.
Hiya.
Very Mickey Mouse, I think. Very Mickey Mouse. All right, well, let's get it cracking. The AC is not on. It's going to get hot in here soon, so let's just get it going. I start off every episode with this one question. It's loaded. You could go as metaphysical or grounded as you want. Who are you and what do you do?
Yeah, so I'm EpTheDreamer again. I'm an artist, producer, audio engineer, and marketing consultant. Pretty much I'm a one-man band, and I pretty much can do it all myself independently. I'm under my own LLC, that's Digital Metronome Entertainment, and been doing this now for a little while.
What's a little while?
At least 5 years doing this independently where this is my full-time job.
Okay.
And then 10 years of just experience being in the game, period. Trying to make something out of this, like on a mainstream level.
So I was reading a couple of different articles. You're very easy to Google search. You have a lot of write-ups out there, and a lot of interesting things came across. So tell me what you were doing when you were 13 years old in relation to music and battle rapping and whatnot. What was that like? Well,
13 years old, EP was not even EP yet. He was just Ian. And yeah, I got a regular name. How about that? My mom gave me a real last name.
But you mean you weren't born with your rap name?
Nah, but I did come out green though. So that was something. But no, anyway. I just at 13 I wasn't even doing music. I was playing basketball. I was doing AAU tournaments. I was going to UCLA camps. I was actually going against people that are in the NBA right now.
Okay.
Like Spencer Dinwiddie's, Austin Rivers, big
So you thought
names.
you were going to be an athlete? Yeah. Okay.
I thought I was going to I kept telling my parents, I'm going to freaking NBA. I'm going to the NBA. I'm going to the NBA. That was my sight at the time. My tunnel vision at the time was going to the NBA. And yeah.
Wow, so you didn't make it as a ball player, now you're a rapper.
Nah. I mean, a typical thing, right? I mean, Dave East did it,
Yeah.
The game did it, but nah.
I mean, that's the cliche, right?
Yeah.
That's only the
Funny enough, after a basketball practice, one of my homies, shout out to Roddy Fennell, one of my good homies, longtime homies, and my first, honestly, my first hip hop mentor, he pulled me in to check out some beat tapes, pretty much, like a bunch of instrumentals, like OC's instrumentals on there, My World, and we even have the track on there. A lot of old school boom bap type vibes, like the Loonies, I Got Five on It was on the tape, and Hustler's Ambition by 50 Cent, and Window Shop was on there, and like Toy Soldiers from Eminem was on there, and a bunch of whole different tracks that were just the thing to listen to at the time.
Yeah. And they're instrumentals.
They're all instrumentals.
Right.
And then he had another one where it's like the actual tracks, because everybody back then would burn their stuff from MP3s.
Right, of course.
So at least back
like
when I was 13.
The Napster days, or like the maybe even before that.
This is around 2007, so yeah, like around there.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, all right. This is after Napster, but like now it's just like Google.
I didn't even know Napster was a thing back then.
Yeah. That was after Napster, but that was like, Google and file sharing. File sharing was just more like everybody did
Larry
it
Bird.
at that point.
This guy hilarious right here, modern day Larry Bird.
Oh my God. Well, actually, Barlos is in the chat, and he's wondering if you were left-handed or right-handed.
Ambidextrous.
Oh, he slaps ass with both hands, homie. Oh, sorry, I'm moving myself.
I shot the ball with my left hand. It felt weird because I actually started with a two-handed push shot when I was like 10 years old. Yeah, the little girl shot. Just like doing that. It's more of like a pass. But eventually, I tried going right hand, but it felt weird. Even though I wrote with my right hand, but shooting it with my left hand just felt more natural. Didn't feel like I was like overpowering anything. It felt like it was under control.
I had a similar experience because I'm left-handed, but all sports are like right-handed, right?
See, there you go.
I golf
You're the
right-handed,
opposite.
I bat right-handed, I shoot right-handed, like everything is right-handed in sports,
Yeah.
but like I actually write with my left hand.
Basketball's the only thing I'm like dominant
I can
left-handed.
write with my right hand, but it looks like first grade writing, kindergarten writing, you know?
Yeah.
But if I had to get a note out, if I had my hand chopped off or something, I had to get a note out with my right hand, yeah, I'd be able to do it. What's your natural position in basketball? Oh, damn, Bartles on his co-host shit right here.
Man, right? Natural position in basketball, I was a combo guard. So there was no really natural position. I definitely had ball handling skills that I got the ball up court. I definitely knew how to protect it. I definitely knew how to get past you, but I wasn't really trying to do that. I was more a team player. I definitely like to work it around and get everybody looks. I was like, Steph Curry meets LeBron James, but at 5'5", No, but I could shoot from literally half court.
Got you.
I could pull up literally at 13, 14 years old from half court. But my passing skills, I was like throwing passes like here, like that. Like I did that type of stuff. That's what made me stand out.
Gilbert Arenas or Penny Hardaway?
Gilbert. Only because Gilbert was known as a 0 and I was too, and I just relate to him more on that. But Penny is hard, man. 6'5" or 6'6", and he did what he did athletically, and he was a menace in his handles too. Like he was like T-Mac before T-Mac, low key for me.
I have
with his handles.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No, okay,
no,
okay. Bet.
I was like, Bartles is on this shit.
Okay,
He also says your drills are amazing.
No, you checked them out, huh? Yeah, no.
I saw that shit.
I've been doing those drills since I was probably like 12 years old. Like I don't even work on them anymore. Now I can just do them like I'll juggle basketballs like 2 or 3 of them and do it like that. But no, back to the subject at hand because I got huge ass ADHD.
You're not the only one. Me too. So this should be going everywhere.
Oh man, then this shit right here is probably gonna slap pretty soon.
Oh yeah.
But anyway,
got your little ashtray right here.
Oh, beautiful man.
Right here.
You get hooked up on the Shneaky Pod, man. Y'all gotta try the Shneaky Pod. It's a different vibe.
Yeah.
But yeah, at 13 years old, my homie brought up a beat tape and he started rapping on them and stuff. I was like, what the fuck? You know how to rap? And he's like, yeah, man. He's like, you should try it. And I tried like making some words just at least rhyme together, and I was horrible. Like horrible. Like bleed your eyes and ears out horrible. You know what I'm saying? So it took some time to get it down pat. I freestyled before I started writing. I would walk to school or ride my bike to school, and I would listen to music, but then halfway in or almost there, I'll just start freestyling and try to mince words of what was going on in my surroundings.
Damn, if I would have known, I would have had Bartles pick some beats, and we would have freestyled live on the show, man. We would have freestyled live on the show.
You know what I'm saying? So... You know what I'm saying? But anyway,
so you'd be traveling, fucking freestyle.
Yeah.
Just going through the world.
I was doing that. Me and my homie would go back and forth. The same one, Rodney, we would go back and forth, and we'd actually create freestyle tracks to each other. We'd burn CDs, hand it to each other at school, check it out, because this is before MySpace and all this shit like that. We were on all that. Yeah. Even though it was around the time, I wasn't really on that shit. I was like, we're old school. Like, here, give your homie the tape, give your other homies the tape, whatever. And we would go back and forth about like different instrumentals that we'd be on and stuff, and I would just like work it up. And it got to a point that when I got to high school, people want to start battling me. Mm-hmm. And I got fucking obliterated my first like battle ever.
Who doesn't?
You know what I'm saying? And they caught me completely off guard, and to a point, I was actually almost being hazed for it. And it pissed me the fuck off. So I went back home. I went to go work on my fucking raps, and when I came back to school the next day, dude wanted to have another one.
You ready?
He didn't know that I went to the hyperbolic triumph chamber that night.
Yeah, you were ready.
So I obliterated. I talked about what he was wearing, what he sounds like, all this shit. And he was comparing himself to Tupac back then.
Whoa.
And I was like, and I made up a bar pretty much back then. I forget exactly what the hell I said because it was just in the heat of the moment. But pretty much I was like, as in hip hop, Tupac is known as like Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Like, so I was like, pretty much took a Jesus bar, like wrote it out there and said, you'd be nailed on the cross, but nobody would appreciate you or type shit. And I was like, I just let him have it.
Biblical shit. With the biblical.
And I'm not religious whatsoever. That's why, like, how prepared I came.
Ready.
I was just ready.
Well, I mean, there's always that thing where, like, when you get owned at something, you're either gonna like rise or you're gonna like, you know, go hide and shit. So it's like it seems like you definitely rose.
Exactly.
So 2 years later, you're in your closet, I'm guessing, making music at 15 on your, what's it called?
I had no closet.
Magic Deluxe?
I had no closet.
Magic Music Deluxe? What the fuck were you talking about?
Magic's Music Maker. So they had a thing already that was pretty much, it was the Adobe Premiere for movies or TV shows or just anything to do with like, you know, just to see with picture and stuff. It was good for editing that type of work. But for music, it was different, and they had themselves a music. It was a movie. It was a Magic's Movie Maker, but then they have a Magic's Music Maker.
Like part of it to like make music for the movies, technically.
But they had all the effects in there too. They had chorus effects. They had EQs. They had compression. Back then, I don't even know what the hell. But this stuff is. But I mean, it was still legit. Yeah. Oh yeah. It was legit enough to use like a Reaper or something like that. I mean, I would literally sample stuff off of YouTube, plug in my microphone and screen record it back then to where I would take the beat off of YouTube because they didn't have no downloaders back then.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
And I would put it into my DAW and rap upon it and just freaking and get on it. You know what I'm saying?
So you really had to figure this shit out.
I figured everything out.
That's crazy.
I made, when I was making music, not seriously, back when I was 15 years old, I was already creating my own metadata. And I didn't even know I was doing that.
Yeah, I didn't even know what that meant when I read that in the article. Like, what do you, like, when you, I know you're talking about metadata now is like all like the file information that's like on the actual digital file. But you were making metadata albums. Like, what do you mean by that? Like,
no, that's exactly it. That's exactly what I was doing. But I was taking artwork off the internet. I was trying to design up my own artwork, and to the metadata, I would go into iTunes because iTunes, that's where you really fix the metadata.
Right.
They allow you to do so. You click, get info.
Yeah.
And
that's
then
what I do.
And then you do it from there. And I was making my own stuff.
And I do it on Serato, just so that like DJs have it too.
Exactly.
Faith said he hid.
Huh.
You know, that rise above or go hide. Faith says that he hid.
Oh yeah.
He was a hider.
Yeah. No, I feel it. The thing is that I only hid what I could not want to give everybody to where they can make fun of me. Because like back in school, I would get freaking bullied, hazed, like everything, man. Like even by my own peers.
And was this because of your certain like learning disabilities and mental health issues?
Yes.
So what exactly did you have, or what? Like, did you have dyslexia? Or
no. I thought I might have had that when I couldn't really read thoroughly with my reading comprehension skills around when I was 10 years old. Mm-hmm. But I didn't realize it. My parents realized it because they diagnosed me, but I didn't really understand it as a kid.
Right.
I had ADD, ADHD, slight speech impediments, and just like low reading comprehension skills. And just because of all those things, like the thing with ADHD is some days I don't know how to feel. And I don't even think my some of my family even knows it still, like that I go through that or I even have that, or they forget because they just expect more of me. This is how it's always been of me in my life. I'm always been expected more of by people. I don't know what it is, but with ADHD, you just don't know how to feel some days. Like some days you might be on top of it. You might feel real cool, and it's easier later to come out and do stuff, but some days I just feel like I'm in a fucking box, and if anybody opens up that box, I will scream. It explodes. And it's not, I'm not bipolar or anything like that. I'm usually very like... Yeah,
because I feel like this is the first time I've heard ADD or ADHD described like that.
Yeah, well, usually it's described, and I do this too, where I'm juggling a bunch of things.
Yeah, that's usually what it is.
And you're always having to move around. You always have to do that.
You're like, you can't pay attention to anything for too long, and when you start to get bored, you start to get hyper and like start like making it active and shit.
Yeah.
So there's definitely like different. This is definitely a different understanding of ADD or ADHD that I've ever heard. So
Yeah. No, it's different because, you know
it
what?
also sounds like you might like depression or something, or maybe like
causes
borderline bipolar or some shit.
No, I'm
No
not.
bipolar at all.
No.
So ADD.
Sometimes I
ADHD,
think my dad is because he's
borderline depression.
He's Gemini,
like
but Geminis they feel some days and feel they don't
Hey,
too
man,
some days.
chill with the Gemini
I know you Gemini. My bad.
Gemini slander, bro.
No. I love Geminis though because they're actually some of the realest fucking people. They really care about you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
So
coming back to it. So obviously you still struggle with these things. How did you get through it in school though?
So when I was in
they put you on
third
medication?
grade, no, my mom fought against that. She fought against Ritalin.
Yes, so
she
moms
fought
with no medication.
my mom was like, "No, you're not putting my kid on Ritalin.
Yes.
No, you're not putting my kid on freaking Adderall.
She didn't want you to do meth. That's great.
For real though.
That's fucking great. That
No,
she
for real
wants you to
though.
do meth.
No,
That's
but my
great.
parents hit it so much that you know what's funny. You speaking of you researching me on those articles and stuff that are the source and all that everything.
Yeah. Hype.
but-
I think some of this came from Hype. Yeah, some of this. Came
Yeah,
from
hype too. My grandmother checked it out. She didn't know half of this shit. So my parents hid it from even my own grandparents.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So it's like
So they just kept it. Yo, I mean, you know what though? I don't know. Like,
I don't know.
what's your heritage? Your race in this?
Jewish and Christian,
All right, so
but
technically,
we're not religious.
But you're technically like immigrant, right? You come from like an immigrant background.
Yes.
I feel like
Yes.
if there's anything that I can relate to with that is definitely like they try to keep their problems in house. You know, it's like no one outside the family needs to know what the family's going through. You know?
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like, for the most part, like you keep that shit in
I've
house,
even
you
been
know?
doing that too, and that's one thing I've been doing lately is opening up more because I understand now there's a bigger audience on me now that people can Google me. Now people can like see what's up. They see my my
People actually paying
Spotify's
attention
rising.
to your shit.
Yeah, it's paying attention. It's so much so that I'm getting begged now to do shows, and I haven't done shows in 6 years.
Hey, bro, well, if you ever need a spot to practice,
You know what? I got to honestly because
live studio right
you
here.
guys are killing it. MML Clan is killing it, y'all.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
And honestly, a lot of that has to do with like working with you and working with a lot of people who don't fucking bullshit and they're not yes people.
Yeah.
That shit's really important. Like not having yes people around. People actually challenge you and tell you, hey, you can do this better. Like you could do this shit better. Like
Yeah, exactly. And I try to stay away from those people as much as possible. I don't try to have people that are always like positive. I also try to keep some people that are like little whatever, but like it's good to understand the both spectrums. That's why I even mentioned on like one of my posts the other day is like be neutral. Like you can be positive all the time, definitely keep the glass half full, but you gotta learn from the negative people, negative whatever.
Right.
Stay away from that shit. Just try to keep the balance though.
Yeah.
Just like understand you're supposed to learn from this, but you do want to experience this and you will, but you gotta manifest it.
Right. I mean, there's just there's a lot of contemplative traditions. This thought about like the dark and the light, yin yang type shit. Like can't have one without the other. Like without the absence of light, like you wouldn't even know darkness without light, and like you can't know light without darkness. That kind of shit,
exactly. And the thing is that shit exists too. Like on a spiritual level, that shit for sure is there. I have experienced both.
No, and I also feel like sometimes people. I've been having this conversation. Face and I actually have been having this conversation a lot. Just this thought process where it's like sometimes like people don't realize what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like they have malintent and like they're going out of their way to be negative or disruptive or whatever. Like they might not even know.
Yeah.
And there's like this whole idea that like you can still learn from that shit.
Yeah.
You can take lessons from it, and you can also like show grace and compassion. Just be like, hey man, like
That's that's in most religions on this planet. That's what it is.
Yeah.
The only religion that's not is probably the demonic ones.
Right. Even then, like
they worship something.
Right. And they have their own morals and goals and shit.
Yeah,
whatever.
but that's the negative spectrum.
Right. Well, I'm specifically thinking of how the Church of Satan is like this force for good, like on Twitter. that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like,
the name itself is fucking
I don't
crazy
have
and
the
hilarious.
sorry, Barlos. I didn't set up the headphones and shit because we're not ready to freestyle. I mean, maybe.
Oh, you got beats.
Yeah,
huh?
he sent me some beats, but like I was not. I didn't prep for that. this time around?
I never come prepped for freestyles anyway. I've been doing this since I was 13.
Oh, I mean, I'm talking about technologically prepped, asshole.
Oh, no, I didn't mean like that at all. I'm just saying, like, I didn't know what's happening.
You don't think I can freestyle? Ha.
No, not at all. I've seen you freestyle. What the fuck? You get in. You talking about like half of your verse on that face track on no se entiende, that was like half freestyle.
I mean, was it?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
I mean, you were there, so
I was there.
You
I remember.
It. You engineered it and recorded it.
I have great long-term memory.
Yeah, not I. So I guess I freestyled.
That's the
Don't
only.
listen to that track.
That is the only benefit of having ADHD is you get long-term memory. Your short-term memory fucking sucks though.
So sorry, I'm gonna pull us back because both of us are just gonna be going on tangents forever. Where did you study engineering and production?
So I went to SE Institute Los Angeles. It no longer exists now because they ran out of funding for some reason. From what I know from one of the job counselors there, but it was a 12-month program, pretty much out of 9 months.
Look, Face says it was not freestyle, bro. I don't remember it that way either.
It was not freestyle?
Nah,
I swear it was half
writing.
freestyle.
I was writing the whole time. I just write fast.
Maybe that's what you did. No, because I feel like that ending just happened at the end because you still had a few more bars.
I mean, yeah, but I was writing it in my
okay.
head, Jay-Z style.
Got it. Jay-Z style flipped it on him. Was that you do on Twitter?
All right, so school. Tell me about school.
Yeah. So fucking A, man.
What does it even mean to like learn to study engineering and production? Like, what do they teach you? What does class look like? What's the curriculum look like? Because I went to school, but I didn't go to school.
Yeah, no, they teach you with the first thing they actually teach you is production. They want you to be able to make a beat from scratch, whatever you can do, sample, whatever. Just like learn how to do it, and you got to do it inside Logic. And then also too.
But do they teach you like music theory?
Yes.
And, okay, so
yes,
they teach you music. Yeah.
They do all that. That's one of the things they actually first teach you because it's kind of like a crash course. It's a 9-month program, so you're not learning like one thing at a time. You're kind of learning a simulation of things together, but you're making it go together. It's almost like cooking. In a way, you're taking these ingredients, you're doing these things, and you're adding it all to the mix.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So what they're doing is teaching you from like just the first steps of the cookbook, pretty much, which is to know this is how signal flow is, this is how music theory is, this is production, Logic, Pro Tools. Learn these things because this is more likely what you're going to be in the most. Here's Ableton 2. You experience that as well.
Oh, so they did give you like Ableton.
Oh yeah.
So, like they kind of exposed you to everything.
Yes, I mean I can use every single one. I can go from my weakest is Ableton to FL Studio to Logic to Pro Tools and throw that into a board.
And what are you strongest in now? Logic? Just
Pro Tools.
Pro Tools?
Pro Tools just because I'm like always editing music. I'm editing music more than I'm producing myself. So that's where it ends up usually going just for the mixing and everything. At least me personally. That's my like it's like this stuff is like Call of Duty. Choose your weapon. Just like what do you want? The AK-47?
What's your loadout?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But
Face is remembering. I didn't want to waste time. Oh yeah.
But you did hit that. Exactly. That's what I said. Because you had to go somewhere.
I don't remember, honestly. I definitely that verse was
the
definitely
second half. He didn't know if he was gonna go too long. Exactly.
Yeah. No, definitely the delivery. I didn't know what I was gonna do. Delivery, like a lot of the delivery, because I was like trying to be chill, and you were like, "Nah, we need more." You know.
It was an emotional song.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. That's probably another reason why I blocked it out.
Hey man, do what you gotta do.
So you were learning theory. They taught you theory, and then they taught you like all these different DAWs, and they basically told you to like make music and put stuff together and shit.
Yeah. So pretty much just that they explain how music theory is pretty much and how it goes, but then also you had to detect frequency ranges that were boosted. as well.
Oh, my brother sent me a website that tests you on stuff like that.
Yes.
Or like they play a frequency and you have to like figure out which one it is. And, like,
Which one exactly it is. They play a sine wave just between that of a song and you hear it. Is it 1.5 kilohertz? Is it at 15K? They know that most people don't know 20K or can hear 20 like hertz.
Right.
Like, but they know that, okay.
Like 15 is obvious. You should be able to tell. Like.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Gotcha. I don't know. I just have more like an intuitive understanding of where the fucking, obviously, like, highs are over here.
Yeah. It's just kind of isolate. You're using your ears to isolate different parts of the sound, pretty much between the snare, the kick, and you're focusing on that one thing. Just making that stronger, beefier, smoother, more punchier. Because the low end is punchy and the top end is usually more crystally. You know what I'm saying? If I had to compare it to things to say and compare it to.
Right.
It's just making these ends come together. Just kind of like, again, it comes back to cooking. I learned this from, shout out to Segal Heredia, Eminem's engineer, who makes the Marshall Mathers LP and LP that's Slim Shady LP. I consider him one of my mentors, whether he considers me a student or not. I've learned a lot from that guy. Mixing is literally just like cooking. It's interesting.
Mm-hmm. So since you went that whole like academic engineering route, like,
Same.
do you think that? I guess I always had this kind of like same conversation. It's like, do you have to go to school to do this, right? And like a lot of people like will put a lot of money into like going to the right school and like trying to get certifications and like end up in certain places, you know?
Yeah.
And then I always hear people be like, I didn't really need that. Like, wasn't really like super useful. A lot of the stuff that I learned there. I mean, you get into a session, they pretty much tell you to forget all that stuff that you learned. Like, so like, what would be, if you had like, if there's like a young person out there who's thinking about pursuing this professionally, engineering and production and shit, like what would you be their advice? What would be your advice to them?
I would say just, try it out, experience it, see if it's for you. If not, all good, man. Maybe you wasted a few $1,000s, so is everybody else in this fucking game. Don't be afraid to fail. If you do that, you'll be holding yourself back, but try it out. Maybe music school is something that you need. Maybe you just need to know the business a bit more and learn that online, I will say this, depending on whatever it is you want to do in this industry, because, I literally one band show.
Yeah, you do everything, yeah.
Yeah, but like literally just go out there and just experience it and see if it's for you. If it makes you better, great. If it makes you money, even better. Now you know what you can do so you can earn money.
Right.
The more ways you can earn money in this game, the better for you. So, you could be a jack of all trades or you can just focus on one thing. Usually in this game, when people focus on one thing, they become that much more better than they are. But it's rare to do everything. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
Like, it takes a long time. So depending on where you want to go and what you want to do, just do your own thing. There's some people that went to my school at SAE that didn't end up staying for past, because there's 4 mods to get to graduation. I did all 4. I graduated. Some other people, they didn't. They only made it to 2 or 3 or just dropped out after 1. People figure out what's really for them if they're really into this. Like, engineering is not freaking easy. That's what that school is mainly for. It's what I went to was for engineering. But like, production is not easy either. You got to be creative with that shit to make it really sound good. Like for example, are you a producer that when you produce, do you just keep everything in the middle or do you keep it on the sides or do you make it go pan back and forth? Do you do it rapidly pan back and forth? Do you make that sample freaking like big, like in a room? Do you like throw that in like a stadium type vibe? You can do anything sonically with music. Right,
but it's like your own preference and your own idea of what it needs to sound like. That's where you're adding your creativity on the engineering side. And so that's what makes mixes different and that's what makes people special.
One thing I learned in this industry, engineers make the music sound amazing. It makes it go from like just music, heartfelt music recorded on a fucking microphone to something spectacular that's in stereo. It's like everywhere. This is like, this product fixed this much of these many demographics. And when you can fit this many demographics, you sell to a crowd. You sell to an audience.
Damn, that's crazy. I never thought of it like that. Like, the engineers make it sound good.
Engineers, like, literally really make it sound amazing. Like, think about it. If you don't have an engineer, like, engineering, you're compressing it, you're EQing, you're editing it up, you're making it sound great. I'm just going to keep it simple. You know? If you really want to consider somebody an engineer, take it outside the box and put it on a fucking board. Put it on an SSL, an Neve, an API, whatever is out there on that, and try that shit. That will bring... Now you're getting some shit that's like, you know, what make the Beatles to Nirvana to NWA to Dr. Dre
these
great.
Days, right?
Nope.
Not even you, though, right?
No, normally not. But some of my records, I have. I put it on SSLJ and done it entirely myself on that.
No
I patched
way.
it in. Yeah, 100%.
That's fire.
100%.
And Faces over here spilling his love for you. Told my ass to learn from him and stop engineering in my tax
No,
bracket.
he knows it right. You know what? He got it right, though. Like, you know what? Here's the thing. It is a team effort. Everybody brings the best out of each other when you have people playing different lanes, and that's what makes that shit special. But one thing that's done in this industry today, producers and especially engineers don't get enough credit that they should. Like, think about it. How much more producers do you know than artists? I know way more artists than any engineers or
No, yeah, for sure.
and any producers.
Yeah.
Like the engineers don't get acknowledged unless you're actually working with these major artists. Period.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Producers, you hear some producers that work with indies and majors.
No, I'm even in the game and I don't even know that as many.
Yeah, but
Like,
every major
think about
artist.
people who aren't even in the game, they don't know shit for sure.
But every artist that you ever heard of is doing some that shit that's crazy
Right.
from the mainstream level.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
someone's behind that.
Like they're on endorsements, they're on stadiums, they're on, you know, WNBA, fucking
Well, I mean,
NBA,
it's hard
fucking
to put-
NFL, whatever.
I mean, unless you're dead mouse, you know, it's hard to be an engineer and go out there and show people what the fuck you're doing, you know? Like,
I didn't even know Dead Mouse is an engineer.
Yeah, well, his whole, like, his last Cube show was, like, basically, like, his studio set up in a cube, and it exposed it, and he had all his knobs right there. Like, he makes all his own music, all his own sounds.
Wow.
Like, he does all his own shit from top to bottom.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Like, his whole thing, like, he has a bunch of analog shit, and he just, like, creates sounds. Like, that's, like, his whole trip is, like, making sounds that don't exist. And, like, that's why he's, like, shit always gets chalked, you know? That's why he had such a fucking... like a unique sound for so long because he's like making his own sounds and shit.
Right, got it.
All right, let's switch gears. We talked about school and production and you're growing up and making music and how long you've been doing this, but now let's go present day. You working on 2 singles? You got 2 singles coming out? What's this thing about singles?
Yeah, so news articles all covered that recently. So yeah, I got 2 singles. I got one called Feel This and I got another one called Empty. And funny enough, I'm gonna release a clip just to kind of preview what I mean by on Feel This, like on Friday. It's gonna be a little, you know, just a little preparation. I'm gonna release the single probably in about maybe 2 weeks or so. It's just been a lot of like paperwork and other shit that I've been having to catch up for these past months and stuff. That's why it's been such a delay because it was supposed to release last month with this other single, but it is what it is. Stuff happens for a reason, and you know, I'm just putting it out. But Feel This is something that I'm just letting the world know I'm out here. I'm coming. And I don't know what y'all are doing or going through. It might be some crazy ass shit, but I'm about to bring some crazier shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's bold.
Yeah, it's bold. I'm trying to find an animator right now for it, and I got somebody, but we in the talks right now, so we'll see what's done.
That's
the level we're going to.
Got you.
Yeah, that's the level we're going to with this. And then I got another one that's even deeper than that. Like everybody goes through this. The next one is about depression.
Yeah.
It dives into it. That's all I'm gonna say.
And this is like fulfilling your promise of like making a track that deals with like mental health and like
yes,
being more open about that.
Yeah, because like everybody goes through these things.
Right.
It's emotions.
No, yeah,
it's not even we as humans, as intelligent as we are, we have deemed whatever things are as vocabulary words and what they mean.
Right.
You know, I have a dictionary, but the thing is that we all experience the same feeling. We all experience the same emotion. That happy, sad, angry, whatever emotion.
Yeah.
We all know what that feels like. So the thing is that we all understand each other on that level.
But people don't like make that connection all the time, you know? Everybody's so caught up in their own shit.
Because they're caught up in reality.
They never think about the fact that like everybody's going through some shit, you know?
Because I think about reality, what's over here, what this person is, we're doing this instead of thinking about here. Yourself. You're in this world, you're living that. What are you doing? Don't worry about everybody else. Here's the thing, people love to compare chapters. And a really wise guy, I'm going to shout him out, this guy's name is Chris McGinnis, CEO of EST. He is got this one thing that says, never compare your chapter 9 to somebody else's. It's one of the deepest things I've ever heard. And your perception is reality.
Word.
It's the deepest things I've ever heard.
Oh, sorry, bro. You got me.
The moment. Hey, man, we smoke it. We having hemp. It is the hemp. It does what it does.
Yeah, bro. Why do we do this? No. All right. All right.
Brought to you all by the Shneaky pod, by the way.
Recognition and respect. Monster Cast. Merchant Media Productions. MMUp Plan. All the greats.
Coming out of East LA, fucking with fucking fire.
Southeast LA.
Southeast
Thank
LA.
you.
No, thank you for correcting me. They need to know. I'm still learning. Seriously.
Southeast LA.
But that's the thing as an artist is that, you know, when the people that you have is whether they're clients or fans, it's the relationships. You get to know people more and more and more. Just like how you will for friends, family, wherever.
Yeah, no, and let's talk about that actually, because our relationship.
Psychedelic Studies Studios. I'm dead.
Nah, man. Honestly, okay. Look, don't compare your chapter 9 to someone else's chapter 1 or your chapter 1 to someone else. That's
think of it. Like, bro, LeBron James' son, he's got chapter 1 where you trying to be right now.
Like your story,
seriously.
Like your story. If your story is just getting started, like you can't really be comparing to someone's like third fucking, you know, the third installment of their shit. Like
everybody's their own author. Everybody writes their own book.
Well, the way that we met and how this whole relationship started, Sella, baby, that's right. Sella in the chat. Throw up Sella in the chat. Nah, actually, let's see if there's anybody else in the chat who's not actually talking to us. Let's see.
A lot of quiet people in here.
Yeah. Shout out.
They just smoking with us. They just absorbing this, man. They're like, man, these guys is going in right now.
Alice Idra, Commander Roop, Drapsnat, and Lurks. Y'all should say some shit in the chat. Get in this. We're having a great time. All right. Well, the way we met first, is that you are a marketing consultant, and you help, not only in your own words, but through my own experiences, like you actually like help people reach goals and achieve dreams and like get their shit out there. So let's talk about how did you get into that? How did you get into marketing?
So during the 2020 pandemic, when that started in March, because here's the thing, as an artist, at the time, I was also, I'm even still there, I work at Paramount Recording Studios as an engineer. I try to lay out at least 5 different avenues of income for myself. So I want this shit bad. Smart. And the thing is that it's not necessarily to the fact that I want to be an engineer. It's the fact that
that shit pays, yeah.
It pays. It allows me to meet people, and if it takes me somewhere outside of it, different from engineering, I can do that.
Right.
I already do the marketing. I already do all that. I have resources for that now that I've accumulated through meeting a lot of different people in this industry.
Yeah, you said 10 years in the game, right? At least.
Yeah. And I started out with nothing. I knew nobody. I didn't know anybody. My homie maybe was related to Omarion and Lil Romeo, but they never talked. So it doesn't really mean anything.
Right.
So there, and that was even the time back then when music industry, was more a discovery factor. But today, I've realized and done research in when it was 2020, like around March, and marketing at the time was my Achilles heel. Actually, I didn't really get good at it until about 2020, I was learning and taking. I probably spent $2,000 on just like marketing courses. I I wanted to learn everything about it, how people like.
And that was just like market your own stuff, or
marketing my own stuff. I've like Facebook ads, like all that stuff. You know, I've tried everything, and I figured out the best way to do it is focus on the algorithm itself. Like, know what the algorithm is about, research it. Just know that it doesn't care about your numbers of who is liking or viewing or commenting on your stuff. Just know that more is good, especially if it's real people. Like, only real people, and if that's the case, good, because your content is A, the algorithm is B, this thing with C equals D. You know?
And it's just math like that.
It's simple mathematics, my friend. It's like fucking more quantity is better and more. The better it looks, the numbers, the better it is.
And so once you learned how to do it for yourself, you basically you turned that into
a business.
Stream of income.
I turned into a business.
To help other artists get on.
Yes, I turned it into a business. I work with a team of mine, and we go out there and we reach out to people who need it, that look like they're ready to get this thing. Because the thing is, if you have the brand and you have the skills and
the drive
is the most important thing. Because here's the thing, you don't even have to have anything set up whatsoever. But if you have the freaking drive and you're just like, got it, I'm gonna spend at least $150 to $500 a month on myself and my brand. Fuck the weed. Fuck the drugs, fuck the freaking whatever. I'm still paying my bills, whatever. I'm still putting my money away or whatever. Cool. As long as you're paying bills and putting money away and you eating, fine. Those three things come first.
Right.
But you gotta put money behind your shit. Drake's told you this. Tekashi69 has told you this. You know what I'm saying? You know what? I don't like that. I don't really care for the guy myself, but he's got points when he talks about the business. The guy knows the business.
I mean, obviously, he's still making money.
Anybody you've heard on a mainstream level knows the business. Island boys know the business. That's how they got there. They know what's up.
Right.
Depending on how they invest themselves, that's how they float or they crash. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah.
It comes back to those investments. But yeah, just knowing the algorithms and everything really just helps, and just knowing the right connections that, you know, are going to help you get out there. You know,
yeah, I
don't necessarily promise anything.
Right, no guarantees.
You know what I'm saying? There's no guarantees whatsoever at all, because that's just how life is. But it depends on your drive and just your will to have your brand, have to line up everything in the right sentiments, and
I'll just
have your ducks in a line.
I'll just attest to it, you know, my name is Ryan Rene Perez, aka Shneaky. I've been doing music professionally, for at least 10 years. You know, I've been throwing shows in the entertainment industry in some way longer than that, and ever since I've been working with you, like, for sure. More people have heard my music. More people have seen I get more people coming out to shows. Like, I've been able to make more money off of music, either through selling merch or getting booked. So there's definitely it's ever since I started working with you and your team, it's been a level up.
Yeah.
Sure.
No, and I've seen it too. I've seen it with your crew entirely. Yeah. I mean, you guys leveraged yourselves to go to freaking Mexico.
Right.
Yo, mad props to y'all on that. That's insane. And to do it within a year of working with each other is even more insane. Because you don't see that. A lot of people slag. They're holding on to money, trying to pay rent, or they're just just paying for parties going out. When you start going, here's the thing, that number one thing that actually I know why artists mess up. They spend too much money going out and paying for going to bars and restaurants and all that, right? As soon as they get their check, they buy too much weed or drugs or whatever. Or they spend it on dumb shit, period. It's one of those things. And if you're not spending it on your brand and your business, you're crazy. You're losing out. Think of how many people buy restaurants for. Just to, lease a restaurant, they spend down 50 to 80, 100 grand.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Depending on what the space is and stuff. And that's what you're doing as your artist. You're pretty much investing into your property.
Right.
You're doing it on to the world standard, which is online.
Right.
It starts online. Back in the day, it used to start at concerts and then work its way to the web, because then web started becoming something.
Right.
now it starts online and works its way to real life. Because
the grassroots
we're
kind of starts
digital.
online now.
Yeah, we're in digital world.
You got to go where the people are at.
Yes.
The people are online. Like, the people are on Facebook. The people are on Instagram. The people are on TikTok. That's where you have to go. That's where the people are, Like,
yeah, 100%. Here's the thing. I ask people this all the time. If you had the budget to spend a $5 iced coffee a day, that could get you a TV spot ad, pretty much, on a national TV network. And you could do that for 30 days of the month. And it would promote your music. Would you do it?
Yeah, of course. And
there we go. It's a rhetorical answer too. Like, yes.
And that's what Instagram is, right? Like that's what
Instagram has 1 billion people. Like national TV network has 3 million, like 50 million people.
Yeah.
You cutting through all that shit, and you reaching more people on a more targeted sense. Because what does the algorithm do? They make you want to buy shit. They make shit happen. So there you go. What's good, B Nation? Yo, B Nation is killing it, man. Shout out to you. He's another one of them dudes out there that can really get you some help.
For sure. Well, you can send any links that you want. We'll put it in the description.
Yeah, B Nation working with like people from major labels, like mess with dude. What are you saying? No slacking here, Poppy. Yeah, exactly. No.
Well,
no, Face is an example too.
Oh yeah, no, Face is the example.
He's the example.
Yeah.
I always tell dude he's relentless.
Yeah.
He's relentless. Yes, he is. I love that though.
He's a cleaner and a winner.
I love that though, because from a dude that used to play basketball back in the day, I was too.
Right.
I was probably the best defender. Probably every time I played basketball, no matter if it was against pros on the court or fucking like some of the All-American people, I could pick up 84 feet. And I had asthma, so like I'll last maybe like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I can't play too long because of my asthma.
Yeah.
But like, I can pick up.
I feel you.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
Tim Grover shit, exactly.
The Tim Grover shit.
And
I think you know what? Obviously, like a lot of it depends on the mindset of the artist and where they're at, and what they want, right?
Perception is reality.
But a lot of people they come into this for the lifestyle.
Yeah.
They want to be in the studio smoking weed, the girls and popping bottles. They want to be in the club. Like that's what they're in it for,
Yep.
And so when you're in it for that, then you're not investing, and you're not thinking about those long-term goals,
No.
For us, like we don't really have the luxury of like time or expendable income to be worrying about fucking popping bottles and trying to be
especially not right now, because I don't know about any of y'all, but at least if you live in California, if you're making under 150K, you can't be going out to the bar and all this shit and spending crazy amounts of money like, every day. Like that kills it, man.
I mean, gas or Ubers,
gas alone right now is crazy.
And prices of drinks, like
it's $5-something.
Yeah, chill out.
Right now it's like $4.
Nah, there's a spot. Face knows the spot. It's like $7.
What?
Oh yeah, consistently.
Oh hell no!
Consistently $7.
Yo, I'm getting a Tesla.
Consistently $7.
That's the first luxury car I'm getting is a fucking Tesla.
Right.
We recorded for sure.
Without giving away too much.
It's on Twitch live right now.
Without giving away. Oh shit. Okay. Without giving.
If you want to throw gifts, by the way, y'all, please do. All of that stuff goes back to y'all. If you guys join my community at EpTheDreamer.org.
There it is.
You guys get free gifts. Actually, I got something coming for Christmas and Halloween, so stay tuned for that.
Dope. Well, actually, I was about to tell you.
342, you lucky.
Without giving away too much of your business, if there's any like tips or strategies, but I think we kind of covered that. But if there's any last things you want to say, just to any artists out there or young people, or anybody listening, then plug all your places and tell people.
Yeah, you know what? Just keep putting out music at the very least. If you can't afford marketing services, like at least a single a month, post content. But the thing is don't. This is gonna be some crazy sauce. Whoever is on this freaking podcast right now, you guys are gonna get the biggest sauce dropped of all time. Focus on your motivation over your music. If you focus on your motivation over your music, that's going to be your why. So my why is I want to be the guy to influence everybody on this planet to go after their wildest goals. Whatever your why is, let the whole world know about it through your music and also through your content. Content marketing is number one. That's all I'm going to say. Content marketing is number one. If you got that and consistency with songs dropping, that's half the game.
There it
All
is.
the rest of it is
You
just
heard it here
networking.
first. That's half the game.
That's half the game. The rest of it is networking.
Where can they find you, EP? Where do you want them to listen to? Where do you want them to go? Your website, your Instagrams, all that.
Let's see. I'm going to host this up.
You see if it's gonna work. Let's see if it works later. We'll see if it works.
We'll see if it works later. Y'all can put this in the comments if this works.
Yeah.
So y'all can scan that.
Put it to the camera here. Yeah, leave
Y'all
it there
can
long to make
scan
sure it's
that.
clear and focused. Yeah. All right, cool. See if it works. Yeah, we'll see if they can.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And just
Oh, yeah, no, that's it. That's the one.
That's the one?
Yeah, that's the
All right, bet. So there we go.
All right, so if it works, then hopefully they'll be able to find you. If not,
Don't worry. It's not a virus or anything.
he has it in his wallet. It's attached to a business card.
It just goes
to the future, bro. It's the future.
It's just my business card where you guys get to see where I'm at.
He just puts you on more game right there.
Yeah, you just think of this as my store. Welcome to my store, EpTheDreamer, and y'all can see what you like.
All right, well, it's been awesome having you, man. Thank you. It's been a dope conversation. Was there anything else that you wanted to cover or talk about, or anything else that you wanted to shout out or say anything to the people out there?
Yeah, man. I would just say, you know what, y'all. Life is crazy right now. Be safe. There's a lot of people that is getting still accustomed to life passing the pandemic as we're starting to get out of this shit. So, just be on alert, but keep doing your thing, and keep chasing your wildest dreams no matter what. Just because you know what, if you shoot for the moon, you'll probably land on the stars. So why not just shoot for it anyway? What you got to lose? Like, you only get one chance at this shit.
You know what?
Don't y'all listen to Eminem?
Huh? What you just said right now that made me think of something else that came up earlier.
Union Station. Yeah.
The homie P&B. You knew him, right? The homie that just passed.
Yeah, I've had the pleasure to work with P&B as a assistant engineer and even just a little bit as an engineer in the studio and stuff, and he was a cool dude, man. Coming in with his girlfriend, his kid, like wasn't too many people, and he's just straight business. He just gets to work, just does that. So it was always a chill session to work. He was cool. He was easy with him. There's some sessions I work, man, and it's just crazy, bro.
It's hectic and not cool, not fun.
Either it's mentally taxing, or at the worst, it could be life threatening.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
You know what?
Depending on who's in the room.
Say that for another podcast.
No. Depending on literally, depending on who you're working with. Like if you're working with young people, like young boys, shit like that, that's life threatening. I know that because I got held up.
All right.
But anyway.
And you heard it here first. Y'all be careful out there in these streets.
No, exactly.
Shneaky, RecRespectPod, at official Shneaky on Twitter and Instagram. You can see it right here on the bottom. This is where I've posted up all the podcast stuff. EpTheDreamer. This is MMUp Clan Monster Cast, and we are out.